Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. So glad to have you here with us at Avat Shalom. Special welcome, Bruchim Habaim, to all of you watching in TV land on the live stream. Rabbi Matt Berger. I'm joined at the Bima with our soloist, Michelle McNicholas, and down at the piano, our accompanist, Joy Katzen-Guthrie. We will continue this evening to stand with Israel, our Jewish homeland, with both song and prayers, and we'll open today's service with singing of Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Yisrael. Yisrael, Yisrael, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Let's get ready into the spirit of lighting our twin Shabbat candles by singing Light These Lights, and I'd like to invite any women, ladies in the audience who'd like to join us on the Bima to help us light the Shabbos candles.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights
and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehad likner shel Shabbat.
You'll find on the screen two slides, special prayer for Israel. Feel free to join me. Avinu Shebashamayim, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to lead and advise, crowning them with your land and full of joy. For Malachi Hashare, Malachi Elyon, Mimele, Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon.
Israel, Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Veimeru, Amen. Yeheshmei Rabba Mivarach, Le'olam U'almei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitale, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesh Abrichu, Le'elan Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbichata V'nechemata, Dahamiran B'alma, V'yemiru, Amen.
For the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, found on 28. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Bayeh. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Bayeh. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai. Please join me on page 31, prayer for the evening. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ariv Aravim, and a prayer of love, Ahavat Olam, is found on 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. The more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. In preparation for the Shema, we'll sing Jeff Klepper's Open Up Our Eyes. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one.
Open up our eyes.
Open up our eyes.
Teach us how to live.
Teach us how to fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Feel free to be seated. We'll continue chanting the words of the Shema. You shall love Adonai your God on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech u'shofmecha uvkumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloheim asher etchem eretz mitzrayim li'otem le'elohim ani Adonai. Yai lai yai la lai la 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 yai 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 lai la 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 yai lai la lai lai yai lai la lai yai la lai la 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 la. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, norati ilot oseh belen, norati ilot oseh belen. Malachutecha ra'u v'anecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eliyah ve'amru, Ze'li anu ve'amru. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Norati lo osefele, norati lo osefele. And we'll continue with a prayer for shelter and protection, the Hashkivenu that you can find on page 42. Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechaim u'shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom,
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Let's rise for the tefillah, our standing prayers, asking that God open up our lips in praise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasevot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Hoser, Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir asurim, umkayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al givurot, umito melach, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman hata lachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yalu chasela. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Feel free to be seated. We'll continue with blessings 4, 5, and 6. First, for the holiness of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. And words of choda'ah, words of thanks, same exact Hebrew word that when you talk about Thanksgiving. And todah rabbah, it's all from the same Hebrew root. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lechodot. And I believe I skipped one. The slides will be off, but Avodah, which is a prayer for Israel, is on 56. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato litzion. And for our time of reflection, if you turn to page 62, you'll find the words to Yehiyu l'ratzon, may the words of our mouths be acceptable to God, our rock and our Redeemer. Yehiyu l'ratzon, imre fi, imre fi. Only be l'ratzon, only be lefanecha. We'll turn our thoughts and our prayers towards healing at this time. If you turn to page 253 in your prayer books, you'll find the words of Mishaberach, God the one who blesses those in need. We, of course, think about all those who have casualties in Israel due to the war, as well as psychological or emotional trauma due to it. And to these names, we add the following individuals from our community and beyond. So we call to mind Jacqueline Albin, Joanne Beeman-Fiddleman, Yonatan Reuven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Brad Blefield, Babs Brown, Marie D'Alessandro, Norman Fiddleman, Harry Fleisch, Marcia Friedman, Denise Freifeld, Mitchell Freifeld, Pam Granoff, Maya Herman, Don Hirschman, Louis Quall, Michael Ranzino, Bob Rosen, Stephanie Ross, Carol Sabani, Dennis Schulman, Roberta Schultz, Albert Schaefer, and Jeff Stark. If there are other names to add at this time.
Misheberach
say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Benny, who was an older gentleman from Haifa, Israel, passed away and was sent down below. He was amazed, however, to discover lush vegetation, running streams, waterfalls, and beautiful lakes just about everywhere. And what's more, everyone seemed happy. Perhaps it looked something like this image, which I'll ask our tech team to put on the screen. The resident said, "Benny, you look surprised." "Why, yes," he replied. "I expected hell to be very dry and very hot, kind of like the Negev desert. But all I can see here are trees full of fruit, beautiful flowers, lots of vegetables, lush grass, and water everywhere. It doesn't seem like hell to me." "Well," said the resident, "it used to be like that, but then the Israelis arrived and they irrigated the hell out of this place." Now, if you look for the word hell in the Bible, you'll be in for a very long and fruitless search of definitions, word origins, and explanations. Why? Because not a single person, from our biblical ancestors to the Israelite prophets, ever mentioned such a place. Moreover, they didn't even discuss the possibility of suffering after death. Sure, some of the prophets and the psalmists talk about a place down below called Sheol. It's described usually as a pit or something somewhere deep down in the earth. It was a hazy and indefinite rendezvous point for the deceased, neither good nor bad. As for the joke I opened with about Benny the Elder, I saw it got a few laughs, which is nice. But more than that, it shares a mindset that says so much about Israelis and, more broadly, Jews. Namely, when faced with adversity or challenges, we endeavor to remain hopeful and try to find silver linings whenever we can. But the same can't be said of our enemy, Hamas terrorists in Gaza. Take a hospital, for instance. When I was a kid, my mama Leah, whose first yard site took place yesterday, she always had a pushki or tzedakah box in the kitchen, one of those metal ones. I think it said J&F or something. She distributed about half of the proceeds to the Jewish National Fund to plant trees and forests in Israel, a good mitzvah, and the other half she gave to Hadassah in support of their top-tier hospitals and medical centers at Mount Scopus and Ein Kerem in Jerusalem. For more than a century, Hadassah, a wonderful Jewish women's organization, has helped lead the way to strengthen a connection to Israel, bringing healing and justice to the world. Many of you here may be life members of Hadassah, as my mom Leah was and my wife Ida is. To this day, Hadassah funds many, many programs to inspire and nurture medical innovators that put patients first. I visited the Hadassah Hospital in Ein Kerem on multiple occasions, and I was always amazed by the beautiful Chagall stained glass windows which bathe the Abel Synagogue in a very special glow. When the world-renowned artist, Marc Chagall, was asked to create a piece of artwork for Hadassah, he famously said, "I've been waiting my entire life to serve the Jewish people." Now, this was in the 1950s when Hadassah's Ein Kerem was still in the process of being built. This was all the time when many people were still recovering aftermath of as to their subject and style. I'll ask our tech team to put a picture of a few of them on the screen. As you can see, the result is monumental. 12 windows in total that continue to dazzle the eye and serve as a source of light, hope, and inspiration, illuminating the journey that took the Israelites and the Jewish people from difficult times to a brighter future, with each of the vivid blues, reds, greens, and yellows portraying one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now consider what Hamas has done with their hospitals. Though it's been long suspected, Israeli soldiers on Wednesday and Thursday found a tunnel shaft used by Hamas's militants at Gaza's Al-Shifa Hospital, the largest in the Gaza Strip. This is in addition to the large cache of weapons and military equipment with Hamas insignia the Israeli Defense Forces found on site in the MRI department. The video of the tunnel showed a very deep hole in the ground, lined with concrete and littered with rubble and sand. The U.S., according to White House spokesperson John Kirby, is very confident in its assessment from its own intelligence agencies about Hamas's terrorist activities at Al-Shifa Hospital. All the while, the United Nations Relief and Humanitarian Affairs Chief, Martin Griffith, has tweeted that IDF attacks at or near Gaza hospitals are, quote, unconscionable, reprehensible, and must stop. The United Nations, which you should know, once put forth a two-state solution in 1947, which the soon-to-be Israelis accepted but the Palestinians rejected, has continuously and consistently shown an anti-Israel bias. Historically, the UN has passed as many resolutions against Israel as the rest of the world combined. The UN also maintains a blacklist of Israeli companies operating in the West Bank, a clear double standard that simply doesn't exist for any other disputed territory in the entire world. I'll admit, like many others, I'm very concerned about the potential loss of life of innocent Gazans at hospitals such as Al-Shifa. After all, there are infants there and young children being treated. However, it's important to note that when enemy combatants like Hamas use hospitals or the ground beneath them for military purposes, they lose their special protection status under international humanitarian law. Yet, even when a hospital loses its special protection status and becomes a legitimate military target, the civilians inside are still protected by the rule of proportionality. This, of course, is a very delicate balancing act that depends on the specific facts on the ground. But here's the difference in a nutshell. A hospital can be a place of tikvah, to use the Hebrew word for hope, and I'm pretty confident that Hadassah's Mount Scopus and Ain Karim hospitals are on this side of the equation, or a hospital can become a place devoid of hope, which is what Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza has become due to the evil intent and military presence of Hamas terrorists on and below its campus. The difference between the two is night and day. And while there are certainly many good people working in the medical profession in hospitals throughout the Gaza Strip, their healing work does not outweigh or excuse the instruments of war that are found within. Make no mistake, this is one of the hardest times to be a Jew. Sure, the Roman era, among others, were likely worse overall. As for the Nazis, we can rest assured that every last one of them went straight down to the real hell, the one without the waterfalls, the fruit trees, the lakes, and the Israeli irrigation technology that Benny saw. And gone are the halcyon days when Jewish students at college campuses can play ultimate frisbee on the quad without fear of running into horrendous pro-Palestinian student groups like the Students for Justice in Palestine, called the SJP. Though I have to say, I've been quite impressed with the support of Governor DeSantis, Ray Rodriguez, the chancellor of the state university system, and Ben Sass, the president of the University of Florida, all of whom agree that shutting down SJP chapters at the state university level is justified due to their full-throated support of Hamas and the atrocities they wrought on Israel on October 7th. We'll leave it to the American Civil Liberties Union of Florida and other litigators to adjudicate SJP's federal lawsuit that claims that their hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. But the litmus test regarding freedom of speech remains unchanged, and chanting, quote, "Free Palestine from the river to the sea," which many consider a call for genocide, is a specific threat of violence targeted against a very specific group, the Jews. And when the SJP encourages, as it did in a statement earlier this month, quote, that they encourage not just slogans and rallies, but armed confrontation with oppressors in Israel, this, at least to my mind as a non-lawyer, fits the bill as unprotected speech. But only time will tell how this plays out in the courtroom. To our Israeli brothers and sisters in the state of Israel, our Jewish homeland, I'd like to express the beautiful words of the psalmist, Imo Anochi B'tzara, which means we are with you in this time of crisis, because the fight against terrorism is also our crisis. Today, as ever, the words of Israel's national anthem, Hatikva, remain true. Our hope is not lost to be a free people in the Holy Land. Earlier this week, well over 200,000 people gathered on the National Mall in D.C. for the March for Israel. I'll ask our tech team to put a picture of this unwavering and very bipartisan support for Israel on the screen. Proof positive that Jews and Israel are not alone. One feeling is by others in peace. Until then, strength to Israel. Adonai knows the most. Encourage Jewish communities throughout.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, latet gedula leotzeher bereshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kamish
Let's turn now to page 294, where we'll find the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, words of praise. As we think of families in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days mourning their loved one, as we fondly recall Jonathan Bernstein, brother-in-law of Eve Goldstein, Louis Fishman, friend of Herb Bloom, and Billy Winters, grandson of Maya Herman. We also mark the yahrzeit anniversary of passing of loved ones. On the Shabbat, we remember Lois Malk, Faye Rosen, Charles Bornstein, Jenny Brindis, Felipe Castillo, Evelyn Edelman, Sandy Freifeld, to keep Israel safe. Are there any other names to add for yahrzeit at this time? Yes. Thank you. We say Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of all of these good people continue to be a source of blessing in their loved ones' lives as we rise to recite the words of Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav yizman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam ulamei almayah, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'ela min ko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, Ukraine, and throughout the world, as we say, amen.
V'imru, ve'imru, v'imru, amen. V'imru, ve'imru, v'imru, amen.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the words to the Shabbat Kiddush, blessing over the fruit of the vine, on the screen or on page 5 in your prayer book. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riah gafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava u'vratzon inhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, kihu yom tehillah, l'mikrahei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, Yotanu kidasha, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava u'ratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim, to life. All right, so the only kid in the room, Avi. Come on up. We've got a lot of challah to share. One for me, one for you. I have one. All right, please join us. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. For the second week in a row, it's my pleasure to call forward Steve Koenigsberg, representing our leadership, to share some Shabbat announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Michelle, enjoy Shabbat service. Sharon and Taylor, Oriel soloists, including Allison and Michelle and Joy. The TS Book Club will meet on Sunday, December 3rd at 10:30 a.m. A bagel and lox breakfast will be served. After services, please join us for an Oneg Shabbat refreshments in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing those great announcements. And we'll conclude our service with Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem, as we face the blue and white flag right over here. O Lord, Valeva, Benima, Nefesh Yehudi, Omia, Vate Mizra, Kadima, Ayin Litzion, Sophia. Tikvateinu, ahati babashno kalpai, liotam poshi be'artenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, liotam poshi be'artenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and join us in the social hall for some snacks. Thank you very much.